Hi everyone, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. Let's talk about healthy eating. Now, I have lived in Switzerland for 12 years, so I am very familiar with the eating habits of our European sisters. And we have lots of women, by the way, in our community from Europe, and other parts of the world. So if you're watching this, please chime in if I'm misrepresenting. But I think our European sisters have got some techniques for eating that are not requiring a diet, and you could call them secrets, but they're just healthy ways to eat and not gain a lot of weight. Doesn't that sound like a perfect scenario? Well, Peg Doyle is one of our bloggers, and she wrote this great article about it, and I just really enjoyed reading it because I do actually think that there's some truth to some of this, and I think that these tips will help you maybe when you're going through the holiday eating cycle and thinking of ways you don't have to deprive yourself. I mean, food is meant to be fun and healthy and enjoyable and good for you. It's meant to keep your body healthy, and it also the taste sensation of good food, not to deny yourself things you love. And anyway, Peg's got some good ideas, and I think that, and she's also got a recipe, I think, in this article at the end. I'll put a link in the description under the video. But there's the 7 steps that she talks about. Okay, small portions. Okay, I lived in the States for 25 years, so I know the kind of challenges that you have with portion sizes, especially when you go out to eat. And I think you specifically have to ask, you just have to say, I would like a child-sized portion, or I would really like a small portion. And I think most people get it. I think I don't know, maybe you in the States, you can give me some feedback here, but I think that in Europe, I certainly try to eat small portions of things I love, good quality food. So instead of buying like massive sizes of things, just buying small quantities. And that's another thing, actually. A lot of people in Europe, and myself included, do shop more frequently. Like we shop almost every other day. We don't go out and buy food for the month. Probably should consider that from a bargain perspective. Although you can, again, if you buy small quantities and in good quality, you can usually get good prices. One of our shops, by the way, is doing something, maybe some of yours are, but every week they have 2 items that are 1 franc. Like one, and sometimes it's like a basket of tomatoes. Another, it was a bag of oranges. Let's see, what else did they do? Apples, and it's kind of what's in season. But that's another point here, to eat things that are in season. But basically, focus on small portions, high quality food, and think like vegetables, fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, nuts, and things that are not processed. And if you can do that. Now, I'm going to talk about croissants for a second here, because, if you live in France, or you've been to France and you know the Paris sort of stereotype of croissant and pain au raisin, and they're just so full of calories, and they're just they're too much. But I just get one, and I eat some of it. And I know it's wasteful, so sometimes they'll sell a small version of it, and that's fine with me. But it's just that kind of 3 or 4 bites that really, really are what you want. It's not like the whole thing, but you feel guilty sometimes starting. So if it's something you can take a small portion of and then put it away for a bit, maybe have it later or the next day even, that's fantastic. Another thing is to get variety. And I know from doing some research on gut biomes and how your stomach and your gut needs like new things in it all the time. Just try new things. Make your plate a rainbow of colors. Just put everything out there that's beautiful. Make your food beautiful is another tip. Just make it look lovely, and make it full of variety, unprocessed food. Try to avoid the tins, and just try to eat fresh. And I know it's a different world when you're working and when you're doing, but I think I've had more time now to be selective. And also, like, for example, I can't get Honeycrisp apples, which I adore, but I found that Kanzi and Gala are 2 that are very similar. So finding the things that are affordable, that are not, too expensive, but full of variety. Another thing about that Peg mentions, which I think is a secret of European people, women, I'm talking about women now, is not to skip meals. Eat regular meals. Now, I have to laugh because I live in Scotland. I do live in Scotland sometimes, but I live in Switzerland, and I know that at 12 noon, it doesn't matter what cafe, what restaurant, what coffee shop you are in, you're going to have a crowd of people coming in to eat. People in Switzerland eat their lunch at 12 o'clock, not 12:01, not 12:02, not 11:59. It's 12. And it's crazy. I'm exaggerating, of course, but yeah, they just eat regular meals and small. They eat their big meal in the middle of the day at lunchtime. That's maybe a European habit too. But skipping meals disrupts your cycle, your eating cycle, and then you want to catch up later because you're starving and you eat too much. So again, eat regular meals. Another thing is to eat local foods that are made in your area. Now, I know it's not so easy if you live in the city because there are markets, of course, that do kind of curate their selection so that you get things that are maybe local to your state or your area. But choose fresh, locally grown vegetables. In Europe, there's markets all over the place, and it's the way that a lot of people buy their food, especially women. And, enjoy the flavors of the season. Like I mentioned, they're usually affordable. You can buy like plums, for example. When plums are in a season, you can just buy hundreds of them, freeze them if you've got a freezer, or make them into a fruit soup and use that on yogurt. But do make use of local foods. That's another point. I think another thing that's really, really important is to listen to your body. If your body says you're full, you're full. Stop eating. And I know you look down and you think, I'm leaving some food on the plate. Well, then next time order a smaller portion because you just will do it out of guilt. And I know a lot of women our age are like that. Remember people are dying all around the world and eat your food. That's kind of what we listened to when we were 6 and 7 and 10. And, that's what we're used to thinking, that we have to eat everything on our plate. Just eat smaller portions. Okay, another big one. Avoid sugar. I don't need to tell you this. You know this. Research shows that sugar is not good for you. It contributes to lots of chronic illnesses, and it's just, it's hard because everything's got sugar in it. Ketchup, just anything that you eat or that you buy in a can or in preserved format, it's got sugar in it. So just try. I actually don't use sugar much anymore, and even honey is sweet. But I try to get used to the taste, of tea without. I haven't had tea in my sugar or coffee. Speaking of which, I've got my cup here. I think I'll have a little sip of my coffee. Anyway, hold on a sec. I just bought this cup. Isn't this cute? I got it from H&M, their home department. I think it was like $5. cup mention. But anyway, avoid sugar. Another thing is to eat socially. Share meals with others, make something if you're in a neighborhood where you can make a big casserole and everybody comes over and has some, or you share out in little containers. Don't linger over food is another tip here that Peg gives. Just if you finish with your food, take it off the table. If you're serving a family or a party or whatever, don't leave it just hanging around. Yesterday I was playing Monopoly with my grandkids, with Max and Marvel, and I got some nuts. And I put them next to us. And here's Max. He literally couldn't stop eating the nuts. Now, I know because I've read Peg Doyle's article to sort of just eat in small quantities. But I put them there, and he ate every one of them. Now, for him, it's great because kids need lots of protein, and nuts are good for you. Pecans. And these really cool little things called, what's in the mix? Is it called Phyllis or Sicilis? They're like little chewy fruits. Really, really good with pecans. Anyway, but, put the food on the table and you'll eat it. What else? No more dieting. Stop. Don't stop saying I'm on a diet, because you're just going to end up starving yourself and then feeling like you can't stand it and you're going to eat double the amount. So just try to, not put yourself under the pressure of a diet. And, that cuts out the between meal hunger too. If you are just, just trying to eat nutritious food and not in huge volumes. And I'm looking at my notes here because Peg does put a soup recipe in her article, and she calls soup the secret weapon. Because, you can put all kinds of stuff in soup and you can make it all very healthy and take it, with a little crackers or some beautiful bread. And you've got a wholesome meal, and it's really a little trick of hers. Anywho, I hope this is helpful. Please tell me what your favorite tips are for eating well. Not dieting, but just eating well. Thank you for being here. I love you all to bits. Have a wonderful day wherever you are in this beautiful world. Eat well, Stay safe, stay strong, eat healthy, no diets, okay?